Happy Friday! Thank you for joining me, everyone. Another week's gone by already. I can't believe it. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we relax and craft and we work on a project together and hang out and just chit-chat away. So we're working on the Charming Chevrons pattern by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. There it is there, looking all cute. We are at the stage again where we are cutting and trimming our half square triangles. So this is what we're doing tonight. So we have these little sewn fabric pieces. It's 2 squares. And we've put a diagonal line down the middle. You can see my little pencil mark there. And we've sewn on either side of that line. Tonight we are going to cut along that line, and that'll give us 2 pieces that have that sewn little seam on it. And when we open up those 2 pieces, we will have a half square triangle on both sides. So here's one, and then the other side as well, we have a second half square triangle. So eventually, and this is what we did last night for a bundle of these, eventually we will sew them into the 2 half square triangles. Like here's one here, and here's the other one there, the matching pair. We'll sew them into half chevrons, and then we will sew a whole nother pile of these into chevrons going the other direction. So then there we get that V, that chevron V. So that is ultimately our plan. And then we will make a whole pile of them into this little chevron zigzag that we got going on here. So tonight, well, last night we sewed a bunch of them together, the half square triangles. And tonight we will be working on the rest of our pile. So this is the pile that I have left for the ones, the half chevrons that go from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner. We're doing all of one direction first, and then we got the whole other pile right there. That will be going in the other direction, so we have an equal amount of both ultimately when we're done. So, all right, I am going to flip you around. We'll get going. Feel free to share this. Share your project that you're working on. Even if it's not this project, whatever you're crafting or painting, whatever you're doing, feel free to share it over in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. Just click join, do a search for Penguin and Fish Crafters on Facebook, then click join and I will let you in, and then you can share away. We have such a lovely group of people there, and it's a nice safe place to share your work and get some feedback and get it out in the world. So that's fun. And there is a link in this Facebook post and the YouTube replay for the Charming Chevrons pattern if you want to join us. I will be working on this for quite some time still, so there's plenty of time for you to get going with us here. So, all right, guys. Again, happy Friday. I'm going to flip you around and we'll get started. Let me know how your week went. All right, so there's our pile right there. This is how many we have done. We're starting to rack them up, which feels good. The little half chevrons. Tonight we are headed over here again where we will trim all of these fellers down again. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's pull up the sleeves, get going, and we are gonna just go through this pile again. So I'm gonna just take the top one, cutting down that diagonal, and feel free to check the replays on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube if you wanted to see how we got to this point in the pattern. I'm doing all of these projects, all the projects that we do here, we do from beginning to end. So you can see the entire process no matter how long it takes. So all right, I'm just pressing these. We'll press it open like this to start out, and then I'll flip it, and then we're gonna actually open the seam and press it open as well. And that's so it lays flatter. There's less layers of fabric to sew through once we do the free motion quilting that we'll do later. Thanks again for joining me, everyone. So you know how I said it was going to be a horrible day of just doing bills and taxes and getting a flu shot? Well, I did the bills and taxes, but not the flu shot yet. Didn't get that far, so we have to extend the not fun day to tomorrow as well. So tomorrow, the hubs and I are gonna go get our flu shots, hopefully early in the morning. Just get her done. Delaware, Oregon, Alabama, Bama Gamma. That's fun to say. Thanks everyone for joining. Flip. So all right, now that we got these two guys pressed, we're going to trim them down. So, you know, we got these dog ears here, we got some rough edges, and it's not exactly the size that we want. It's close, but not exactly. And to make these chevrons, we want we want everything to be exact. So we are gonna trim it down. I have a 4.5-inch ruler, which is exactly what we want. No snowman yet either, Bonnie. We'll have to maybe we'll get flu shots and then make a snowman. It was 40 out here today, so there was a lot of melting. I think it's supposed to get cold again, but we got so much snow that, you know, not all of it's gonna go away with a nice 40-degree day. If anything, tomorrow it'll be even gooier for a snowman, maybe. We'll see. Oh, you're Misty. Dog Misty had a flu shot. Oh, man. I did not know they did that for dogs. All right, so just trimming these little edges, and now we got a perfectly formed 4.5-inch half-square triangle there. So let's do that again. My ruler here has a nice diagonal line, which is awesome. These are the Omni Grid rulers. I really like them. And then I have the True Grip stickers on the bottom so they don't move around. And I have links to these in my post here. And also a rotating cutting mat also makes this easier. I can keep even pressure on this the whole time and just rotate it. It's nice. So, all right, putting that diagonal along my diagonal seam, then I know that 45-degree angle is going to be just perfect. Making sure I'm getting all the edges to hang over the ruler. And then we're going to trim. And I'm standing up and putting straight pressure down. And then I can rotate, keeping that pressure so things don't move. And I can just do all 4 sides. And of course, you could move the ruler and, you know, use a larger ruler and stuff too and do this. But just having a ruler the exact size and being able to rotate it sure makes things easy. And then I'm kind of stacking them in the formation of the half chevron right away, just so it's not all messed up. Like, I don't want to stack it like this where it's all going to be wonky. I want to, when I sew it, I want to be able to just grab and go. So what I'm doing is I'm putting it in that half chevron position and then just putting the bottom on the top, and I'll just start my pile like that over here. All right, and that is what we're doing tonight, just over and over again here. Oh, Patricia, you're not really late. We're just getting going. We are cutting the diagonals, pressing them out, and trimming our half square triangles again tonight. Our stack is getting smaller and smaller, though. I'm pretty happy about that. Soon we will be done with this first stack for these half chevrons. We do have a whole another giant stack like this big that we need to do the same thing for, but for the half chevrons going in the other direction. But at least, you know, when we're working on that stack, we know that we're past the halfway done point of making the chevron, so that's a benefit. I like this fabric so much. This is so pretty, that fabric with this red, I think. All right, next up, just give it a little press first, and we'll open it up. Your stack is getting smaller too. Yay, Patty, that is amazing. Doesn't it feel good? I mean, with fabric stacks, it just seems like you're working for hours and hours and the stack just doesn't get any smaller, right? But then all of a sudden it's like, I only have a few left. That is swell. And I'm feeling like that's coming soon. You're supposed to rub your arm where they put the shot. Oh, to give your muscle more so as not to have, oh, a sore arm on a knot. Okay, Bonnie, that's good advice. I need that for tomorrow. So get the flu shot and then rub on your arm a little bit to kind of work it in, basically, so I don't get sore, because that would be nice. I always get such a sore arm. And you know, when one thing's sore, like your back or, you know, leg or something, it just takes the energy right out of you. Well, it'll be weekend at least, though, so maybe I'll just be lazy with a sore arm. I guess I'm a baby getting a flu shot. There we go. Ah, so pretty. Yeah, and we won't be doing this over the weekend either. So yeah, maybe this is a good thing that I didn't get my flu shot today, because this would have been potentially a little rough holding down the ruler like this. That would have maybe been a little sore on my arm. Ooh, and then I have to decide, do I want my left arm or right arm? Decisions. We're going to try and get there really early, though, because it is a Saturday and it's going to be busy. But, oh, man, you know what? I wonder if the clinic's part of Target. I'm going to go to Target. I wonder if the clinic part is even open on the weekends. Ooh, we are going to have to do some Googling, I think. All right. Next up, this is that pretty... Oh, the nurse sort of pinched your arm and then rubbed. This one's that pearl bracelet fabric. That's pretty. Oops. Man, yep, I think we're getting to the point that it might be new blade time coming up here soon. Maybe before we get on the next stack for the chevrons that go in the other direction, maybe we'll switch the blade out. Deborah, that's what I'm thinking too. Do it left arm, since I'm right-handed. I think that's what I usually end up doing. It's been a while. Yeah, I like this little travel iron getting right in there for pressing these open. All right. Just getting a rhythm tonight, and we'll cruise right along. Hopefully we'll get towards the end of this little stack. I'm not holding out hope that we will actually finish this pile tonight. I think it's deceivingly small, the pile. I think it maybe looks a little bit smaller, but I'm thinking there's actually a lot of pieces in there yet. So I'm going to let it be what it's going to be, and we'll just keep going here. Okay, trimming time. These two fabrics together would be awesome for like a Quilts of Valor quilt. I think I've said that before, but it's such a good red, white, and blue, this combo here. Now I'm going to start making my little itty-bitty scrap pile bigger again. My little fringy pile. Yep. I always do everything in the exact same way, so I can just grab it, and I don't have the angle going this way, because then it like screws up my brain, because I've always been going this way. So if it's different, then it stops. It makes me have to think. I'm trying to avoid thinking while I work on this. Yep, I'm still doing the twin size, not the queen size. Just blended those two words together. The queen size. But yeah, I'm doing the twin. I think it'll be just the right size for taking a nap on the couch and having my toes covered. Or even the husband, he's tall. And if he can nap on the couch and have his toes covered, then that's a good thing. So I'm excited to have this quilt for that. Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. I'm hoping so. It's fun to start. I mean, we don't have any of the ones that angle the other direction, but it's fun to start kind of checking it out as we make the little chevrons, just to see what it's starting to look like. I think that red for the background color, or the red part of the stripe, that's going to really be prominent, I think. It's going to really set the stage of the quilt. I'm excited. Oh, and man, it's so much fun. Oh, hey, Jennifer. It's so much fun looking at your guys' quilts and the progress of them in the Penguin and Fish crafters group. You know, there's a good blue background one in there that's almost done, and a white with a patterned white floral, you know, like a kind of an outliney floral on white. Those two are getting pretty far along. A few other people are cruising along on theirs as well. Much farther along than I am here, but you know, so I'm gonna be here, even though some people are really far, I'm gonna be here for a while yet. So if you are just getting started, if you're just still cutting your fabric or picking out fabrics for this, don't worry, I will be here for a while, which is perfectly fine. I'm excited about this quilt. We will be doing a project in between this quilt, though. I have to plan it out yet. I mean, it'll be a little while before we start it. But I think it's still going to be the sketchbook cover with the embroidered front, and it has a zipper pouch in the back of it, like it's almost hiding in the back of the cover. It's in my book, Sew and Stitch Embroidery, so I think that we might be doing that project next. And I think I'll even get a whole supplies bundle together for it, just because I know, you know, sometimes if you want to do that, the exact size that I have in the book, you know, that requires a little sketchbook. I mean, you can adjust it to whatever size you want, and we can talk about that a little bit when we do the project. But if you do want that nice little, I think it's like a 5x7-ish sketchbook to do the cover for, I might get some of those prepared if you don't want to look for them yourself. We'll see. I'm going to work on that, figuring that out yet. But, you know, we won't do that until we're done with the top of this quilt. So we'll finish the top of this quilt, and then we will work on that project. It'll be pretty quick and fun project. And then we will jump back to this quilt where we will do the free motion quilting, which I have never done, and it's gonna be an adventure. Hopefully you guys can help me along the way. Ooh, continental knitting. I would love to do that yet. It is definitely on my list. You know, with these quilts that we've been doing, since the quilts take so much time, you know, there's only so much I can kind of fit in a year. But I do want to do the continental knitting. We can do like basic knitting, and then we'll talk about continental versus throwing. Just do a fun little project there too. Could do like a washcloth, which is super fun, and I love making those. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I'm excited for the free motion quilting part of this. But yeah, that because of how long this is going to take, and we'll have a project in between, that won't be till probably, man, probably pretty late spring already, really. Time's just flying by. It's gonna be February already. And it's Friday already. Where did the week go? Like, it's just so zippy. Zippy, zippy. Maybe it's just because I have a deadline coming up. Time always flies by when you're trying to get something done for a deadline, right? Man, I still really like the strawberries with that black background. All right. So I'm only ever skipping like a little stitch or like a little thread with my rotary cutter when I do that diagonal. So maybe I'm just not doing the pressure right. But that also makes me think that maybe it's time for a new blade, because you shouldn't have to really press all that hard on your rotary cutter. It should just zip right through whatever you're doing. Ooh, here's another one, another black strawberry one. Oh man, Donna, I totally love this rotating cutting mat. My mom has a larger rotating cutting mat, and I was using hers, and I'm like, all right, I saw that she had one. I'm like, man, that's a whole nother extra gadget. Why do I need all that stuff? Like, I try and do my stuff like with minimal, well, in my head, I guess, because I don't so much anymore, but in my brain, I like doing all these projects with minimal amount of tools, because really you can do all this stuff without any special tools or gadgets or anything. And I like, you know, I like to have people not feel threatened by all the gadgets, because I was threatened by all the gadgets when I started quilting for sure. Like, I didn't know what I needed, and I didn't want to buy all the stuff and all that. So you don't need all the stuff. But when I started using her rotating cutting mat just to be able to turn and trim, I'm like, okay, I get it. Sure, it makes that one tiny thing easier, but that one tiny thing made easier makes my life that tiny little bit better, right? So I ended up getting a smaller one instead of the larger one, just because I have a teeny tiny space that I'm working in, and I wouldn't have room for the larger one. So, but yeah, I'm totally digging this smaller one. I think it's called the 7-inch one, and I do have a link for it. And isn't it a Fiskars? Oh, I don't know. Do they have a lifetime guarantee on their products? Though? That's good to know. That's something I'll have to look into. But yeah, I do think this is the Fiskars like 7-inch rotating cutting mat. I might call it an 8-inch. Technically, there's only, well, it's 7 inches, but you know, technically with the edge, it's like another 8. But I think it's called the 7-inch one. I don't know. I do have a link, I believe, in this Facebook post if you wanted to look into it. Is it Olfa? Once I move this block, I'll be able to see the logo. Oh, nope, this one's a Fiskars one. Oh, my mom has an Olfa one. That's the difference. So she has a green mat like this, but hers is a 12-inch. And I wanted something smaller, like I said, just because, you know, I have this much space. I mean, this is barely, oh, I didn't press that one open. Did I press this one open? Yeah. This space is barely big enough for this. So yeah, I think hers is Olfa. Oh, you can picture it. Yeah, I'm so excited. I think it is just going to be really bright. I mean, it's inherently graphic because of the fun chevron pattern is pretty bold, but I am excited about this red for sure. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my mom's 12-inch one rotating cutting mat is an Olfa, and this is a Fiskars. Ooh, there, now I feel like I'm cruising. Getting in the zone here tonight. That's good. Good feeling. Get our half chevron going. Although I get talky and then I forget to press both of the seams open. But oh well. When that happens, I can still press them open later. Cruising, cruising, cruising. Yes, it's so much faster than when I started. And that's kind of what I love about, and I know I've talked about this before, but that's kind of what I love about these quilts that you can do that are the same blocks, so you can do the same thing over and over and over again and get in a rhythm. I love that, you know, the first several are always like futzy because you're trying to figure out what's the best, you know, way to position this so it's the least amount of energy, right? And what's the best way to hold the iron for the least amount of energy and the fastest? You know, you're tweaking. So you're like, you know, you do the first one, it's like, wow, I was really clumsy with that particular part, and how can we improve that? Well, I could try this or this and this. All right, well, let's do that. And then you try all those things, and sometimes it's even more clumsy, but then sometimes it works. And then also by doing the same thing over and over again, sometimes you just need to get a feel for it, you know? Your body needs to get used to the motion and all that. So once you've done a few of them, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I got this now. So yeah, I'm thinking crazy faster than the first few that we did. And I wasn't using I don't think I was using the rotating cutting mat or this 4.5-inch ruler yet. And putting those two tools in the game have sped this up for sure. All right, first feller. Oh, you have the 12-inch cutting mat. Oh, and you have to be extra careful when you store them. Oh, because they get warped big time. Ooh, yeah, that's like extra bad for a rotating one because you really want that one to be flat. Well, you want all of them to be flat. I've heard, now I don't know if this is true, so let me know if you guys have heard this. I've heard that like if you let it sit out in the sunshine or in like a bathtub with warm water or something and then take it out and lay it flat, or let it sit in the sun on a flat surface so it kind of gets warmed up. I've heard that can help with a cutting board that's getting warped. I have not tried it myself, so I don't know if any of you have experience with that and have any insight. Let us know. And now that I think of it, I do have a pretty warped board, and I just kind of put it to the side and use something else. Maybe I should give that a try. Just heating it up in like the bathtub or something. Can't really put it outside in the warm sun for a few months. Mine got left in a hot car and warped. Ugh, boo. When you haven't been able to get it flat again. Oh, you did put one in the sun and it helped. Oh, put it in the sun and then put a heavy board on it. Well, there you go. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, if it's really bad, you know, that might help a lot. Or at least get it to like just a slightly warped world where you can still sort of use it. So I heard another kind of interesting thing. Oh, you put your laptop on it and it warped it. Oh, from the heat. Oh, that's kind of a bummer. But I heard, I think I saw someone on Facebook, you know, just scrolling through Facebook. I follow a lot of quilt stuff on Facebook, so it's kind of full of quilt things. But someone had taken their old mats, their old cutting mats, and I think they had to use some sort of like a bandsaw or something that their husband had in his shop or something. But I don't know. There's probably an easier way of doing it. But they had ones that had broke or that were too warped or something. They cut it down and used it for like a bag that she was making, so that she was sewing. So like the bottom of the bag, sometimes how they're hard. You know, like there's that little flat part in the bottom of a bag. She trimmed somehow, I don't know how, her cutting mats down, her old ones that she wasn't using that were broken or whatever, and used them for bag bottoms. So that was kind of cool, I thought. Just hung washing out. Oh, now it's running nice. Do not put a hot cup of coffee on the cutting mat. You know, that's interesting because a lot of people have cutting mats, you know, cutting tables where the whole top of the cutting table is, you know, like a really big mat. When you said don't put hot coffee on there, I'm totally imagining myself having one of those tables and, you know, using it as a table and putting hot coffee on there. I think that would be a big issue for me. But I can see that totally being a thing. Or the laptop or something, you know. Work on the cutting board, it's a clean area, you have to set your laptop to work on it, and then you got issues, I guess. The poor cutting mat. You think they'd have one that's like fused to something that's not going to bend. I mean, this isn't a great idea, but like a piece of metal or something, and it's fused on there somehow. Or like a harder piece of plastic or something, I don't know. I feel like there's a solution out there, right? Ooh, never iron on a cutting board, yeah, that's for sure. Pretty purple one. I have a lot of cutting boards that I have cut through, like they're meant for, you know, I was just cutting yardage with them, and so you're cutting in the one place all the time. And I know it's, you know, you're supposed to, you know, if you're cutting yardage or something, every once in a while move over an inch and cut your yardage an inch over or whatever so you don't cut through, but that wasn't always really working for what we needed to do, and so we've trimmed, dug deep into a whole pile of them. And you can see that at quilt stores and stuff too, where they got some pretty deep grooves from cutting yardage. Oh, I mean, they both have their place, the 12-inch rotary cutting mat and the 8-inch or the 7-inch one here. Like I said, I like doing this because it works in my small little space here a little bit better than the 12-inch. But, you know, if my blocks are any bigger than like this 4.5-inch square, then it's not practical anymore. Then it's basically too small. So in some cases, a larger one would be much nicer. Depends what the use is. But I'm definitely liking this one. Like, so see, like this, you need more space than just the 7 inches because you got all this overhang, right? So you actually need a space that's like 10 inches big. So with the 12-inch one, you actually need a space that's like, you know, I don't know, 15 inches big, something like that. So you do need a space that can handle that. But they're nice and portable. You can move them around and all that too, which is good. Little ruler, little mat. All right, there you go. Oh, you have your large cutting mat since 1990 and it's just fine. Oh, just even with the heavy use. Oh, moved about 10 times. Yeah, sometimes you gotta be careful when you move them and stuff because, yeah, if you set them upright, then they could start warping. But yeah, I have some pretty old ones like that too. Not quite that old, but from like, you know, the early 2000s at least. From school, from art school, we used them to not for cutting fabric, but for cutting paper and stuff for graphic design class. So we weren't using rotary cutters. I was using X-Acto blades on them, but you know, same sort of deal, self-healing cutting mat. So I have a few old ones from there. they still work. They're a little warped actually now. They've been kind of sitting all over the place, but I use them still. They got their place. They're kind of all full of paint and other garbage. I should try washing them sometime. All right, we'll open this seam. I have a lot of these strawberries with a black background on in this stack. This stack that's going to be that one angled half chevron. That's okay. All right. Hello, Nancy. Well, I hope all y'all have a nice weekend. I won't be seeing you again till Monday. It always feels so weird. It's like I have to get back into everything on Monday. It's like, where did we leave off? And man, it's been forever since we've chatted. So that's a reason to look forward to Mondays. I don't know, my pile still looks pretty small, but you know, I'm looking at the mountain again. That's not good to do, right? It's still looking, it's looking small. It's still looking pretty small, but it's looking the same size small. It's not looking like it's progressing, but it is. We're going piece by piece. Oh, your granddaughter's 9th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to her. How fun. Zoop. There we go. Whew. We got several purples coming up here. I think 3 in a row for purples. Whoa, sorry. I just punched y'all in the face. Got too far into the rhythm. My hands just did their own thing there and hit the phone. These 2 fabrics are from the same collection, so I don't know. That was really easy to press open just then, and I wonder if it's because it's the same base fabric, potentially. But, oh, do I craft anything on your own time? I do craft on my own time a little bit. Lately, I've been pretty busy, so I've had to work on the weekend to move some things forward. So I usually kind of end up working a little bit on the weekend. I do do a little bit of crafting some weekends, but like I said, hasn't been a whole lot lately. I have a pile of unfinished projects, so I'm still trying to do the things that I don't have done. I still have that. I'm working on that big hedgehog embroidery. I know I've showed you guys that before. The big hedgehog, it's kind of like it's a quilt, I suppose. It could be considered a baby quilt maybe, but it's like a wall hanging is what I'm going to use it for and what I'd call it, I suppose. But it's that my hedgehog embroidery, but that I blew up on the photocopier and stitched it really large. I am at the stage, man, I'm at the quilting stage of a lot of things, but I'm at the quilting stage of that. I'm hand tying the center embroidered area, and then I want to just quickly stitch in the ditch along the lines of the border and get it done. Then I have to put a binding on and stuff too. But then I want that to hang behind me during my Facebook Lives. So there's that. And I have a constant kind of knitting project going that I haven't worked on for a little while either. But I started to also, I have bins and bins of fabric that that we use. So it's just like a white muslin fabric, or a cream colored, unbleached, an unbleached muslin fabric that I use in my embroidery kits. I think I was talking about this before, but we inspect it all because we don't want, you know, any markings or anything to be on the fabric that we put in the kits. You know, we want your kit to be perfect, so we inspect everything. And so we go through bolts and bolts of fabric for those, and all the stuff that don't make it into the kits, I put in a discards bin. And I don't throw any of it away because in my brain, I'm gonna make a pile of quilts out of all of them, like just improv quilts out of all this scrappy, unbleached muslin, and like improv quilts or something, I don't know. In my brain, I'm gonna use it all. But it's bins and bins of fabric that will last me ages. But I started one of those, and I think that's probably my the project that I'm most excited about right now, even though I only worked on it like once. But if I had time, I'd probably spend it on that if I was feeling quilty. So I've just been improv piecing some of these muslin pieces together. And I've been using like red thread, so there's like, you can kind of see some of this red thread on the white, and I think that's kind of neat. Anyway, I'm digging the improv piecing of it all, and I'm liking the idea that I'm using up some of that kit fabric, the discards fabric. So I'm kind of jazzed about that. So I'd like to set up a little area to do that. But lately I've been working on the weekends a little bit, or just totally just vegging out a little bit. But soon, I think in spring, I'll have some more time to work on some personal projects again. That's why I love this hour so much in the evening, because this is like my designated time to be crafty. I would like to do more. I'd like to start painting and doing all that. But at least I have this. That's what I think. So if I didn't have this in the evenings, I'm not sure I would get any crafting done, and that's how it was for years. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have to change this. And that's one of the reasons I started doing these nightly Facebook Lives. It's because I'm in the crafting industry and I'm not doing any crafting. And that's totally changed since starting these. I have not done the sourdough bread again lately. That's tough. Like, you gotta really, first of all, you gotta really keep it up. I mean, it's like having a pet for sure. And it keeps multiplying. So you gotta either throw half of it away all the time, or you gotta use it for stuff, and we just were not keeping up with it. So nope, haven't done the sourdough bread again lately. Although it was really fun that the few times that we did it. I mean, you know, it needed work yet, but there was potential there. Maybe sometime I'll get that going again. That was awfully fun. I like those sort of things. I need to try doing like sauerkraut again, or my dad does kombucha, and he's got a whole setup for it, so that's kind of fun. Oh, on Fresh Quilting, someone showed how to do improv quilts. Oh, that's fun. We did a pile of that here. What did we do? It wasn't just the Splendid Sampler. Didn't we do a whole improv project? Or did we just do that for the Splendid Sampler? I thought we did a whole thing before the Splendid Sampler. Anyway, there's a book by Sherry Lynn Wood called, oh gosh, what's it called? Improv, probably just Improv Quilting, something like that. But it's Sherry Lynn Wood, and it is, oh God, I think it's in my top 5 for sure. It's probably my top 3 favorite sewing craft quilting books. And we did some work from there. I know we did the back of my Splendid Sampler quilt. We improv pieced. That was completely improved. And I swear we did a project beforehand though, but it's like flitting from my brain. So if you guys remember that, let me know. I thought we did one before that because I think by the time we did the Splendid Sampler, we kind of had a handle on it. But I can't place what that project would have been. Tracy, I do not paint my nails every day. I paint them only when I have to. It's all about, like, I'm nervous of having like super ratty looking nails for these Facebook Lives. So that's another benefit of these Facebook Lives. They keep my nails in good shape. Because, oh man, I hate watching videos online and you can't take your eyes off the nails because they just need nail polish or something. So you guys are the sole reason I have a nice painted nails all the time. And most of the time I just try and touch them up, but sometimes they get to the point where they're just gonna start like peeling off, from the base, from the side, like the whole thing will just peel off. That's when I gotta take it all off and do it again. And today was one of those days. I don't know, I was talking about that over on my, I did an Instagram story today. So this is the winner. I did a little which nail polish color should I choose today because I need to do it, and this color won. It also made me look through my nail polishes, and I don't really have a very big selection, and they're all kind of getting to be running out. So I don't know. Might be time for nail polish shopping again. We'll see. I'll get through my deadline that I'm doing, and maybe the reward will be I get to pick a new color of nail polish. That seems pretty good. Thanks, Tracy. Do you ever, oh, sorry, I missed. Do you ever think yourself, dang, not in the mood for another craft tonight? It's kind of funny because I'm usually pretty tired, for sure, by the time we do craft night here. But really, the moment I get started, and my husband says this too, but like the moment I get started with it, I'm like super jazzed to be working on it again, and then I'm not tired at all anymore. But beforehand, I'm a lot of times just super tired, and that's before I did this in the evenings. Before I did this in the evenings, I probably would just be so tired that I just kind of veg out and not do anything. So it's kind of magic time right now because, like kind of magic time, like how I was talking that in the mornings, I get up early just to read a book. And since it's earlier than I normally get up, it's magic time that I don't have to feel guilty about because I would have been sleeping anyway. This is kind of the same thing. It's magic time because if I wasn't doing this, I'd be too tired to do anything else. So it's like magic crafting time that I wouldn't have otherwise because I'd be too tired. Like I wouldn't be doing this on my own, for sure, because I wouldn't be able to get started. Like it'd be the being tired would be too big of a barrier to get started. Even though once I would get started, I'd probably be totally good to go. But that knowing that I'm coming to do this at 8:30, that's like a commitment, So the moment I feel like that's something I can't break, Whereas if it was just me, I probably would break that in an instant. But I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta do it. And then when I get the moment I start, I'm like, oh, totally awake and ready to get cruising. Exactly, Joyce. Like all these little bits of time totally add up, I feel like. And yeah, it's time that didn't exist for this before. Which, I don't know, I dig it. All right, we still have quite the pile here, guys. So we will not get done tonight. So we will work on this a little bit on Monday. Maybe Monday we'll finish. Tuesday at the latest, I'd like to think. Finish this little pile, I mean. This never-ending little pile. But then once we finish this pile, we'll sew them into that half chevron again. And when we have those done, we can move into the other chevrons, the chevrons that go in the other direction. So it's basically the same thing that we're doing, but we'll be placing them the other way. So what you see here is what we'll be doing for a few weeks yet, I'm thinking for sure. But after that, then it'll be really quick. We'll lay it all out and sew it all together. This is definitely the bulk of the process, I think. Yeah, the biggest barrier to working on something is definitely the getting started. If you can force yourself, I always kind of think you have to be doing something for 10 minutes before motivation happens, right? Because you always think, oh, when I'm motivated, then I'll do the thing or whatever, right? But I don't know, I heard this once and it kind of stuck with me. It takes 10 minutes of working on something before you're going to feel motivated to work on it. So, which, you know, isn't always true, but I kind of like that in the back of my head. So if I can force myself to just get going, 10 minutes in, I'll be like super happy that I started, you know? But I got to force myself to do that first part of it, you know? And that's the hard part, because if you are tired or hungry or got other stuff to do, anything can meddle with that willpower, you know? The willpower to force yourself to get started. So you definitely can't depend on the willpower. And that's why, you know, the accountability, like what you said there, that's why this 8:30 time works for me, because I'm accountable to come here every night and chit-chat and hang out with you guys, and I know I'm doing that every night at 8:30, and so I don't need willpower for it, because it's a commitment that I'm not going to do. So it takes the having to make the decision away from me, which is what I need. Oh, that's awesome, Deborah! Oh, you do miss them on the weekends. Oh, well, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so happy all of you guys are here. And I learned, I think I learned equally a bunch from you guys too. That's secretly one of my, or not so secret, favorite reasons for having these Facebook Lives too. I just get to learn. It's like a speed learning session with all the little tips and tricks thrown out here and there. Or if I'm having trouble, one of all y'all knows what's going on and has a solution. So that's nice. You're like my secret teachers coming in here to teach me every night. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the earlier time. So, you know, I was actually going to write a blog post about this. I might still do it, but or a newsletter. But, you know, I've been talking about for a while that time in the morning that has totally kind of changed me feeling good through the day and getting stuff done. And it's you know, instead of getting up and having to work right away and then work till going to bed and just feeling guilty anytime that I'm not working, I started getting up just a hair earlier to start reading. And my excuse for not feeling guilty was I would have been sleeping anyway. So I don't have to feel guilty here. This is magic time because I'm sleeping, right? So I have recently added on top of that exercising in the morning, which I've never been able to get a consistent exercise thing figured out, and now I think I've got it. And it's this whole getting up in the morning thing. Like I tried this for a while, but I hated getting up in the morning and then exercising. Like I couldn't. That's not something to get me up in the morning. Like I would just stay in bed. But the thing that gets me up is knowing that my chair is down there with hot coffee and my book, my magic book that I get to read during my magic time when I should be sleeping. So what I've done is I still get to have that time because literally that's the only thing that gets me up is knowing that coffee and a book are downstairs. And so I get to have that time, but now I am adding exercise after that. So I still need to be done with that, and showered and ready early enough to, start my day at the same time. So I've been getting up an hour earlier than I used to for getting up to read. I'm getting up an hour earlier now, and I think that was one of the big reasons that I changed this time from 9:30 p.m. Central to 8:30 p.m. Central because I wasn't able to do it. I wasn't able to do the getting up early, the getting up a whole extra hour earlier above my getting up early to begin with. I just wasn't getting enough sleep, so time change happened, and that seemed like a good, daylight savings time happened, and that seemed like a good time to just leave it at the 8:30 mark. So then if you didn't have daylight savings, the time didn't actually change at all, and if you did, then you're an hour earlier, and man, it's all coming together though. So I've been working out consistently for the first time ever really, and then I've get to read my book in the morning, and I get to craft in the evening. Still don't probably get quite enough sleep, but still working on that. But man, doing that stuff in the morning makes me feel like I, even if the rest of the day goes for crap, I at least did some important stuff for me. And it usually just gets me energized for the rest of the day, and then I get more done with more focus. But yes, that's basically my morning routine and my evening routine. There we are. Let's see. So I think this is going to be our last one for tonight. We'll trim this up. Oh man, maybe we can get these done on Monday. It's feeling lighter. It's feeling like a Monday doable. We'll see. I'm hoping. Then we can sew them all together on Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, we would be on the second stack of the ones that go in the other direction. So that'd be pretty cool to get that far by Wednesday. So we'll see. But that will be the plan for next week. Geez, which is going to start to be February already towards the end. Crazy, crazy. That means spring's on its way. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. My favoriteest season. But more towards the summer end of it. But at the beginning, when it's that first day, when it's just a slightly warmer than usual, and you can smell the spring, you can smell the melting snow. Whew, that's nice. Oh, the plan for next week, I'm going to try and finish this stack. So we'll be doing what we're doing here until this stack is done. I'm hoping to finish that on Monday. And then we will finish sewing them in the half chevrons. like that. And then we will start on stack number 2 with the chevrons that go in the other direction. So here we are. This is tonight's bounty of half square triangles. And yep, so we'll be doing all these yet too. So that's, yeah, we're getting close. That's about equal. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around and we will call it a week. Hello, hello again. So yeah, cruising right along. Ooh, it's a blue moon on Wednesday. I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh, first time in 150 years. Well, hopefully it's nice. It's been pretty gray here. So I don't know if we'll be seeing much, but that'd be kind of nice. So again, if you wanted to check out the pattern, I have a link here, and we will be working on it for a while. And of course, you know, I'm only doing it an hour a night. You can work on it for way more hours and get done a whole lot faster than me. So there'll be lots of time here with me to work on it still if you want to get started. And again, all the replays are on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, so you can get started on there and get the first parts of this done and catch up to me. So, all right, guys, thanks again for the nice evening. I will wish you a happy weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. Oh, look, John Boy's in the back there. All right, you can wave to John. All right, guys, see you later.